أشهد أن لا إله إلا أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على حي على الفلاح. حي على الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، يقول الله عز وجل: الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. That He is the one who created death and life to test those of you who will do the best deeds. And this is a verse that many of us take and apply to ourselves, which is something that is very important because all of us will surely die. But there's another message in this verse that is important for all of us to take away. And part of that message is that we will also face death in terms of our close ones, our relatives, our loved ones, our friends, and our colleagues. So how do we deal with those deaths when they face us? Because our test is our individual death. And when we pass, we will have to answer for our deeds. But how about when a close one of ours passes away? That is also part of our test. Because their test is now over. And how we react, how we deal with it, and how we respond is our test. Will we respond by showing maturity, by showing patience, by showing gratitude? Or will we respond by showing anger or expressing sadness in a way that is not permissible, or by being selfish? Many times we will use grief as a means to hurt others. Many times we will use grief as a means to justify everything that we are doing, without realizing that we are not the only ones that are facing that grief. We are not the only ones that are facing that sadness. We are not the only ones that are facing that hardship and difficulty. All of us have experienced death, either directly or indirectly, in some way, shape, or form. How did we react to it? When we heard or saw a brother or sister or parent or cousin or friend pass away, how did we respond? Was it something that we can look back on and be proud of? Or was it a way that was very selfish, was very conceited, that was very egotistical? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that He will test us with death. He will. How are we doing in our individual tests? And when we see an individual pass, how are we responding? Are we looking at that person's life and trying to take the lessons from it? Are we looking at that individual's life and seeing how we can make ourselves better and use it as a lesson and as a catalyst to better ourselves? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives us all of these lessons every single way, in different forms and in different shapes. How are we utilizing those lessons? It is not an accident that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to see and experience the things that we do. And one of the things that we see and one of the things that we experience surely is death. And when we are there, when we are attending the janazah, when we're going to the graveyard, what is our attitude and how are we supporting those that are around us? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he talks about the rights of the mu'min on another mu'min, from them is attending his janazah. And there is a spiritual benefit in this, which is the reward of attending the janazah. And there's a social element to this as well. When we go and we attend the janazah, we have to deal and speak to and face those individuals who have dealt with this death directly. What kind of support are we giving them? Because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also commands us and tells us to take part in two other occasions. And that occasion is the walima, is the wedding, and the second one is the aqiqah, and the birth of a child. And this should tell us and show us that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls us and tells us that we are ikhwa, that we are brothers, and that we take part in each other's happiness, and that we take part in each other's sadness. Showing empathy is one of the bases of a community. If I can't be sad with my brother, if I can't be sad with my sister, then I need to look at my own heart and see where my shortcomings are. Part of my happiness should be in seeing my Muslim brother and sister happy. And part of my sadness should be in me seeing them hurt. And walillahi alhamd, regardless of the disunity that we might claim and that we might experience, one thing that I can proudly say is that whenever we hear any Muslim in any part of the world, the first question isn't what madhab was he upon. The first question isn't where is he from. The first question isn't what color was his skin. The first reaction is that of sadness. And walillahi alhamd, it still shows us and it still tells me that the hearts of the Muslims bleed for each other today, and there is still a brotherhood that is there that we should be proud of, that we should proclaim, that we should share with others, that we do love each other, But just like brothers, sometimes we don't always show that love in the best way. And that is part of brotherhood. And death should only bring our brotherhood even closer. When we show that empathy, when we share stories about that brother or sister that passed, when we remember their legacy, when we think about them, it's an opportunity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed me with and given me to remember and better myself. What if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had not allowed me to experience that death or that passing? What if I had not been given those lessons? What if I did not learn from them? I would be similar to those people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed a seal on their hearts, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from being that person. Ameen. Every single moment of our lives are opportunities. And everything that we see, everything that we experience, including death, is a lesson and is a reminder if we allow it to be a reminder for us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those individuals who learn from all of those lessons that are around us, and especially learn from the deaths of our brothers and sisters. وَأَقُولُ قَوْلِي هَذَا وَأَسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ لِي وَلَكُمْ لِسَائِرِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ ذَنْبٍ وَخَطِيئَةٍ إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. يقول الله عز وجل وذكر فإن ذكرى تنفع المؤمنين. And remind, for the reminder benefits the believer. And from these reminders are those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses us with, and those that He gives us, and those that are gifts for us. And death, in its sadness, in its reality, it is a gift for us if we take it as a reminder, if we take it as a means of bettering our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And death is a cold reality. It is something that we will face. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a guide in His book to prepare for it. There are very few people. Just look at the number of people in the world today, and from those people Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and from that ummah He has chosen us as individuals, as His representatives. There is no greater blessing that an individual can have except to be chosen, being raised on this religion. Are we taking advantage of that blessing? Are we taking advantage of this ni'mah? Are we taking advantage of this gift? Because Islam truly is a gift. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us reminders through His book. He gives us reminders through our lives. And He gives us reminders through those around us. There are so many things that we can do to better ourselves. All it takes is just seeking and looking. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us, أَحَبَّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَى اللَّهِ أَدْوَمُهُ, that the most beloved actions to Allah are the ones that are the most consistent, وَإِنْ قَدْ, even if they're small. How do I develop that consistency? By looking at those actions that I enjoy doing, that I find fulfillment in. If I enjoy prayer, I should pray more. If I enjoy reading Quran, I should read more. If I enjoy fasting, I should fast more. If I enjoy helping others, I should help more. It is in those actions that I will find fulfillment, and I will find betterment for myself, and I will find that I have a better relationship with my Lord Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal has given us a buffet of deeds to choose from. Why? Because of all of our different personalities, because of all of our different characteristics, because of all of our different strengths. All Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us to do and asking us to do is find what you enjoy and seek that and move forward. Because it is in that fulfillment that we will be allowed our contribution to the Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected His religion from Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam until now without me. And He will continue this religion from now until Yawm al-Qiyamah without me. The only thing I need to ask myself is, how can I contribute? Because that contribution is only in my benefit. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of me, He is not in need of you, He is not in need of any of His creation Azza wa Jal. But if we are truly in need of Him, if we truly remember Him, if we truly want to be deserving of His mercy, if we want to be deserving of His reward, then we need to make that effort to get that. And He has given us an entire instruction manual on how to achieve that. The only thing, again, that we have to do is look around us, look at those who are below us financially, and look at those who are above us spiritually, so that we are able to benefit in both ways. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who benefit from all the lessons that are around us, and make us better as individuals and as a community. Ameen. Before I end today, just a couple quick reminders, inshallah. Our brothers from Africa Relief are here. The brothers who are part of this, they were part of a council that were set up in New Jersey that I was once part of, which was the Tri-State Imam Council. These are individuals I know personally, I trust, and they're doing a lot of good work in Africa. They work in over a dozen countries in Africa. So far, walillahi alhamd, they've built over 800 wells, they've built over 100 schools, they've distributed over 10,000 food packages to different families throughout the entire continent. So I encourage everyone to please stop by the booth, it's set up outside, and to donate generously to that. The last announcement that I wanted to make today, inshallah, is that next week we will be having our Seerah conference. And it will be around the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as a husband, as a father, as an individual in the home, and how we can be good parents, on how we can be good husbands, on how we can learn to be more like him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So I encourage everyone to go check out the website to register for the conference, inshallah. That will be next week, Sunday, right, Ibrahim? Saturday? It'll be next Saturday, inshallah. So we hope to see all of you there, and we hope that everyone attends. We ask and we close that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on all of those who have passed, give shifa, give healing to all of those who are ill. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help all of those who are in any type of financial hardship out of that hardship. And we ask Him Azza wa Jal to help all of those individuals who are in debt to get out of that debt. And we ask and we hope and we seek from Him Azza wa Jal to allow us to benefit from those opportunities that we have around us, and to learn from others' lives and from their deaths, so that we are able to better our relationship with Him Azza wa Jal. And finally, I close and I seek from Him Azza wa Jal that He gather us up in His paradise, just like He has gathered us here today. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين كل ذنب خطيئة إنه هو الغفور الرحيم وأقم الصلاة.